Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Backstreet Boxing. Now, man, my boy Charles Martin, man, he was supposed to be fighting my boy Andy Ruiz, man, um, later this year, but Andy Ruiz suffered a knee injury. But the fight is still on. It's just going to be postponed until Andy Ruiz gets his knee in order. Now, apparently, it was his Andy Ruiz's right knee that got messed up. It was an old injury. He felt like he needs to get surgery on it. It's been bothering him for years, and he's getting that done. Now, with all that being said, man, my boy Charles, the Prince Martin, man, the forgotten former champion, former undefeated champion, right? He used to be the former undefeated IBF champion, right? The guy he was fighting was stopped by Charles Martin. The guy had a leg injury in the ring. I guess it looked like, I think Charles Martin hit him or he tweaked it in the ring, and then the guy basically lost the fight from there on out. But if you actually look at Charles Martin record, man, it's really underestimated. A lot of people think he's fighting all these bums, but if you actually look at his record, man, it's full of hard hitters. And if you actually look at all of his wins, man, it's astonishing. Now, the guy has 28 wins, 25 fights by knockout. Now, let's look at the losses he has, right? One was to Anthony Joshua, a UD loss, right? He lost. That was Anthony Joshua's first fight for the IBF title. That was Anthony Joshua's first belt, right? And then his second loss was to Adam Konaki, right? And that was a tough fight, fought to a unanimous decision by Adam Konaki. And then he had a draw in his career when he was 6-0 to Alvaro Morales, right? So I was really early in his career. Now, if you actually look at Charles Martin's wins, the guy has 28 fights, and I went through the fights he lost or got a draw in, which was 3 of them. The 25 wins he won were all by KO. He knocked out everyone he ever fought. So that being said, man, Charles Martin's an extremely dangerous fighter. If Charles Martin beats you, he's stopping you. There is no decisions with Charles Martin. That's what kind of fighter Charles Martin is. He's always been a knockout puncher. He just has been slept on because, the memes from that loss from Anthony Joshua, I work the earth like a god. Charles Martin, he's selling fights. That's what he's supposed to do. He was an undefeated champion at the time. He was feeling himself. And, trash talking is a part of the sport of boxing. A lot of people talk about how they don't like it, but that's what keeps the sport alive. If everyone was humble and no one had a personality, it would be very boring. I remember to this day, I was watching the Anthony Joshua Klitschko fight, and people were talking about how so boring it was because they were too respectable to each other. There was no real, animosity toward each other. There was no pretending to, not even for wordplay. There was no kind of drama in leading up to the fight. There was a lot of promotion for the fight, but they're just too nice to each other, right? Really boring stuff. Really, really snooze fest. Now, the fight was great, but the lead up to the fight, boring, right? I mean, there's press conferences that I remember to this day, like the Adrian Broner versus Paulie Malignaggi fight. That press conference was epic. Adrian Broner was calling out Paulie Malignaggi's chick during press conference. Classic stuff, man. I mean, you even look at Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora is a good. He could talk trash really well, right? He was going over there to Klitschko talking about I'm the Black Plague and stuff like that, right? Trash talk is very, very, very important, and Charles Martin just did what everyone else does when they fight. They talk trash, right? So people really need to get over that. I work the earth like a god. I think that's a memorable quote. Whether he won or not, that's not the point. The point is the best was fighting the best. Now that all being said, I broke down Charles Martin's career. He has all knockouts. He stopped everyone he ever fought, at least by winning. If he beat you, he stopped you. It's just facts, right? His last big win was Gerald Washington, who stopped Robert Helenius, who stopped Adam Konaki. And it's crazy stuff because usually that triangle theory, it doesn't work in boxing, and it's true because, like I said earlier, Gerald Washington stopped Robert Helenius, right? Charles Martin could not beat Adam Konaki, but Robert Helenius could. Robert Helenius stopped him, but he couldn't stop Gerald Washington. Really weird, crazy stuff, man. And then Gerald Washington got stopped by my boy Charles Martin. So it's just crazy stuff with boxing, man. It's really a style matchup in the heavyweight division. So we don't know if Charles Martin's a bad style matchup for Andy Ruiz. We just don't know it. And is Andy Ruiz a bad style matchup for Charles Martin? Well, I can tell you this right now. Charles Martin's already fought a similar fighter to Andy Ruiz, right? A fighter who throws a lot of punches, who comes forward, and who has a A1 chin. Now, Al Kanaki did get stopped, but I still think he has a pretty good chin for the heavyweight division, right? I mean, anyone can get stopped in the heavyweight division. Andy Ruiz was dropped in the last 2 fights, right? He was dropped by AJ, who's a knockout artist, but he was then dropped by Chris Arreola. So, getting dropped and stopped by in heavyweight division is to be expected, but understand that Charles Martin, he's fighting these top guys, and he's doing it, but without really getting too much credit. He has a deep resume, to tell you the truth. Win, lose, or draw, he's fighting the best of the best. And how many people can you say fought those many guys with only really 2 losses, right? To Al Kanaki and AJ. So with that being said, man, there's no doubt in my mind that Charles Martin has a big thorn in his butt by Anthony Joshua. I'm pretty sure he wants that rematch like no other. And what better way to do it than to fight a mutual opponent between Charles Martin and Anthony Joshua, right? Which is Andy Ruiz. What better way not to do it, right? Now, Anthony Joshua, he's able to UD Andy Ruiz. Can Charles Martin stop Andy Ruiz? Well, if you look at the Chris Arreola fight, it's possible. It's very possible, right? And what better time to do it than now, right? Andy Ruiz is going to get knee surgery, right? Who knows how much he can actually move around the ring as far as jogging goes. The guy is known to have extremely slow feet. He's fast with the hands, but can he move fast enough, right? Even before the Anthony Joshua fight, or in the Anthony Joshua fight, the second fight, he was really slow to move. He can't move that quick, right? So we're going to see, Charles Martin, I think he actually moves better than Andy Ruiz. Will he use his movement and catch Andy Ruiz slipping? Who knows? Andy Ruiz, he's a short fighter. He doesn't have a long reach. And, Chris, my boy, Charles Martin, I've been naming so many fighters, I'm getting them mixed up. But Charles Martin is taller than Andy Ruiz, and he has a longer reach than Andy Ruiz. Charles Martin has an 80-inch reach advantage, which is extremely long for a heavyweight, right? Andy Ruiz is like what? He's not that tall, and he doesn't have a long reach. He's 6'2", he has 74-inch reach. So Charles Martin would be going with the 6-inch reach, and he's 3 inches taller. So that's a tough hill to climb for Andy Ruiz. But if you actually watch Andy Ruiz's fights, he's always been a shorter fighter, so he knows how to fight small. And then the Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz first fight should tell you how good he is fighting small. So this is nothing new for Andy Ruiz Jr., but this will be his first elite southpaw he ever fought. I don't believe that Andy Ruiz ever fought an elite southpaw, a former world champion like Charles Martin in his career, right? He's never fought in, if he has fought in the southpaw, which I don't think he hasn't fought a former world champion southpaw like Charles Martin. Let's just keep it a buck. So with all that being said, man, you guys need to keep your eyes open for this fight. This is a fight that can go either way. It's a 50-50 fight for sure. People sleep on Charles Martin. There's a lot of momentum behind Andy Ruiz right now, but Charles Martin, he's a figure that you love to hate. He's a figure that you love to hate, but that comes with the sport, man. You talk trash, you gotta back it up. I guess there's talking trash, and then there's being over the top. Was he over the top? Yeah, but it was for good entertainment, and he has the most memorable quotes I can think of in boxing in the heavyweight division, bar none. Especially if you're not talking about champions. So with all that being said, let me know how you guys feel about it though. Who you guys got winning the fight against Charles Martin and Andy Ruiz? This is a mutual opponent from Anthony Joshua. Will the Prince come back? We'll see. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Peace. Geoboxing.